right now at 9. A man is in critical condition following a shooting in Joplin's Sunnyvale neighborhood last night.
Plus, one person is dead and 2 others injured following an overnight crash near Grand Falls.
And after a pandemic hiatus, the Joplin School District holds their bus camp. We'll take you there.
You're watching the KOAM News at 9. It starts right now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Bella Line.
And I'm Chris Warner. 4 years ago, Sarah Burton disappeared in Joplin. She was last seen in Joplin on July 16, 2018, and was reported missing on July 20th.
Since then, authorities have conducted searches across the 4th state on land and in the water. They've come up empty, but the search continues. Officials continue to look for answers and believe there's someone out there who knows what happened. Anyone with information is asked to call the Joplin Police Department.
Gunshots early this morning in the Sunnyvale neighborhood in South Joplin.
Those gunshots resulted in one man being taken to the hospital in critical condition. Officials with the Joplin Police Department say the investigation is still underway. No arrests have been made yet. Officials ask that if you have any information regarding this incident, please contact the Joplin Police Department.
One man is dead following a crash near Grand Falls in Joplin. The crash happened on Riverside Drive just west of the falls. Joplin police report states that the crash was around 2 a.m. and involved 3 people. 2 people were transported to nearby hospitals, one being in serious condition and the other in stable condition with minor injuries. The 3rd victim was reported deceased at the scene. The victims' names are not being released at this time while the investigation is ongoing. And it was another hot one across the 4 states today, and I understand it's only going to get hotter. Nick Kelly joins us.
If it's any consolation, Chris and Bella, we did have a lot of cloud cover and even some scattered showers throughout parts of the day, and even going into this evening. That helped us, at least most of us, stay out of the triple digits again. And we actually had a nice looking sunset not too long ago from 7th and Ranch Line. 79 was a warm start this morning and topped out at 99, and thankfully just avoiding 100 degrees today. But that record of 106 back in 1980 stands for yet another year. For Northeast Oklahoma, you got heat advisories that will go back into effect tomorrow when they'll expire by about 8 o'clock. But this was nice to actually see today. Not only a couple scattered showers around the Joplin area earlier this afternoon, but continued scattered showers throughout the evening, thanks to our frontal system still parked near the area. That is going to bring in another round of clouds overnight, additional scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. Nothing severe, thankfully, but after we drop back near 79, we'll continue to stay hot for tomorrow. I'm thinking a lot of us in the mid-90s, Chris, but like you said, we are going to talk about dangerous heat in our first full weather coming up. In the meantime, Chris and Bella, back to you.
All right, thanks, Nick. If you were in need of something fun to do today, the town of Purdy was the place to be for the Purdy Festival. This festival has a lot to offer, from a car show to live bands and, of course, everyone's favorite, food trucks. Thanks to local sponsors, all rides, inflatables, and the petting zoo were free for kids. The local fire department helped beat the heat by spraying water for all the kids to play in.
It's all free. It's a good time. There's lots of food vendors. You can come see your local fire department here and check out the trucks. And it's a really good event for our community. It's brought a lot of people in from the surrounding communities and gives them a chance to come and see what Purdy has to offer.
This is the 12th year for the Purdy Festival.
The Joplin High School speech and debate team held what they called a garage sale style fundraiser. Now, the sale raised money for travel and any other expenses that the team may incur during the course of the upcoming school year. The sale featured a number of goods such as DVDs, clothing, and a number of household items.
Yeah, it's amazing to have people from the community show up over at the table where people are paying. They'll tell us how they were in debate when they were in high school, or they had kids that do it. And it's awesome to hear those personal connections from the past and realize that people do care about us, and that's awesome.
Now, along with the sale, there was a raffle for some of those items as well. And of course, all of that certainly helps them out. After a 3-year hiatus due to the pandemic, Joplin schools having their bus safety day.
KOAM's Jalen Banks shows us how a new member of the Joplin bus fleet is helping with bus safety.
For the first time since 2019, Joplin schools is having their bus safety day. According to safekids.org, over 8,000 families lose children to preventable injury every year. So, Joplin Schools is taking it upon themselves to teach upcoming kindergartners and first graders, along with their parents, proper bus safety through drills, stations, and games.
I think the first part is that, we want all our kids to come to school and feel safe. And so the first piece of school they see is the school bus for a lot of them. And so we want that experience to be a very positive experience, especially for our kindergartners and first graders.
At the Safety Day, the district had a ribbon cutting, unveiling the newest member of the bus fleet, Buster, the talking bus. Buster's a remote-controlled miniature bus with a voice modulator that someone speaks through that makes Buster talk.
Good morning. My name is Buster.
By bringing a more lighthearted approach, Buster was brought along to make those with little to no experience riding the bus more comfortable.
This will also help first day jitters, like kids getting on the bus for the first time on the first day of school, something real giant when the bus comes to a stop and they're afraid to get on. This will kind of help relieve that stress a little.
With the first day of school just a little over 30 days away, bus drivers, faculty, and parents are hoping to make this the safest school year yet, along with the help of Buster. In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
For more on this story, you can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com.
The Golden City Harvest Days annual bed race is back, and it's not the type of race you'd expect.
Yeah, participants of this year's race competed for trophies and a cash prize, but gained more than just physical rewards. We sent KOAM photojournalist Carrie Worthen there to check out all the excitement.
Go, 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 go. It does bring the community together. I think a lot of people look forward to it. One of the things that we've heard time and again is the memories that are made, the kids in particular.
The people are the brakes.
Where's the brakes?
Your people
Oh,
are the brakes.
I definitely should have been in the back because being in the front, I was just trying to run him. I couldn't run any faster because a bar was in the way, so it just kept clipping my knee and I couldn't go anywhere, but I still think we did pretty good.
1773. So good job, guys. Good job.
I think that the Golden Harvest Days is like a really fun time, like a good time for like everyone in the town to come and bond together and just enjoy a couple days with like the best the town has to offer, kind of like food and fellowship and fun, just good old-fashioned entertainment.
Or they can walk, or possibly run.
It sucks a little bit, but I'm competitive. I don't like to lose, but it happens. Can't win them all.
I thought we were gonna lose, but then when we turned out ahead of them and we somehow set the first place record, I thought that was amazing. It was it was very unexpected.
Yeah, that's something, I feel like the kids I have at home are trying to do with their beds on a nightly basis. Well, the festival has been creating lifelong memories for participants for more than 100 years. You can learn more about the festivities at KOAMnewsnow.com.
We take this time now to honor tonight's four-state hero. Master Sergeant Cecil Weber served in the U.S. Army in the 82nd Airborne Division. His hometown is Joplin, Kansas. We're proud to salute Master Sergeant Weber, our four-state hero. To learn about other heroes or to submit your own hero, just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com.
Coming up, what the latest studies are saying about consuming alcohol under the age of 40.
A new university study details who should and shouldn't drink at certain ages. The study by the University of Washington in Seattle says people under 40 shouldn't drink at all, but people over 40 can take the occasional drink. The study looked at risks from alcohol consumption on 22 health outcomes. People under 40 drinking even one drink, about 3.4 ounces of alcohol, receive no health benefits and have high risks for injuries, accidents, suicides, or murders. But people over 40 can reduce stroke, heart disease, or diabetes with limited drinking. What do you tell yourself when someone gives you a compliment or when you make a mistake? The way we talk to ourselves can make a big difference in growth and mental health. Ethan Cross, a psychologist and professor at the University of Michigan, says the inner voice is a multi-purpose tool, but can become harsh, self-critical, and unhelpful. He suggests that healthy self-talk is crucial to our growth by helping us focus our attention, rehearse for difficult situations, understand our lives better, and shape our identity. In Iowa, a person suspected of being infected by a brain-eating amoeba has died. It comes after a victim from Missouri visited the beach at the Lake of Three Fires State Park in Taylor County, Iowa. While the infection is rare, officials say once a person is infected, it's usually fatal. Of the 154 known cases from 1962 to 2021, only 4 people have survived. This is the first reported case in Iowa. The infection cannot be spread from person to person. It occurs if contaminated water gets into a swimmer's nose. To reduce your risk, you should limit the amount of water going into your nose while in bodies of warm, fresh water. After the forecast, Tesla strikes a deal with a Japanese company to open a factory in Kansas.
This time around, thankfully, a lot of us stayed away from 100 degrees as far as afternoon highs go. It doesn't change the fact that it was still hot today with most of us in the middle to upper 90s, but we had quite a bit of cloud cover today. And not only that, I can't remember the last time I said this, but we actually had a good scattering of rain, not just around the Joplin area earlier this afternoon, but additional rain that's been coming at us from the northwest as we continue through the late afternoon and into this evening. You can see how nothing is too terribly heavy, but at the same time, while this isn't a drought buster, we'll take any rain that we can get, and we'll certainly be thankful for that, even though the area-wide average is still almost about zilch, but areas that did see some rain today, you definitely had some pockets pushing at least ½ an inch of rain, which again, not the drought buster, but we'll definitely take it considering how dry and how hot much of next week is looking. Not to mention the humidity and the heat will be prevalent in northeast Oklahoma once again tomorrow. That's why you'll all have heat advisories taking effect tomorrow afternoon and not expiring until we hit about 8 o'clock. We hit 101 at Joplin Regional the other day. You can see though we were sitting at 100 at 5 o'clock the other day. Right around 80 degrees this morning and topped out in the upper 90s, but with passing clouds and even some passing rain, you saw how Joplin Regional bounced up and down between the mid and upper 90s. And this was just before sunset, a lot of cloud cover, but at least at that time we were looking quiet and at least dry from the east side of Joplin. Let's go to the surface map. You can see from the wind arrows where our front is. It's still parked just to the north of the region. As long as that is close enough, with some additional upper level waves coming in from the northwest around this foreboding upper level ridge, this is still going to keep some rain chances in the forecast. Not only after we get past midnight, you can see how we'll see some showers try to start developing to the northwest at 2 a.m. We'll continue with plenty of cloud cover to start the day and some scattered showers, even a couple of storms. If we do see a couple of storms, though, I'm not expecting anything strong or severe, even though we're going to be quite warm and humid. We just thankfully don't have the setup for anything to get too strong. With that said, if you get underneath any random thunderstorms, you'll definitely pick up on some locally heavier amounts of rain. Then, once we get into the afternoon, we're going to back things down to partly sunny skies and maybe a few isolated showers or storms during the afternoon. Now, what does that do with temperatures? We'll go from 79 in the morning, 89 by noon, highs near 96. We'll clear out as we go into Sunday night. Monday looks quiet and mostly clear, but that'll take us from around 70 to highs back in the mid 90s. And now, why are those heat advisories out? Certainly northeast Oklahoma, that's your big reason why. During the afternoon tomorrow, it's going to feel like at least 105 degrees before we get a little bit of a break as we go into Sunday night. But this is your big weather headline, not just for Tuesday, but through much of next week. Look at how this ridge really just takes a hold and tries to reorient itself right on top of the region. Pardon me, there's a pesky little fly buzzing around my head there. You can see what that high upper level ridge does with temperatures though. 96 Sunday, 95 on Monday, 105. I haven't put a forecast high that high since I think August 3rd or 4th back in 2012, my first summer down here. So too early to say if those are heat advisories or heat warnings that'll go into effect, but nonetheless, we're making Tuesday an alert day because if you don't plan accordingly, that will be dangerous heat to contend with. We'll say 103 as we go into Wednesday, and we'll just keep highs in the lower triple digits Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I know none of us wanted a kind of a repeat of that summer of 2012, Chris and Bella, but that's what looking fortunately more likely as soon as we hit next Tuesday.
Yeah, those temperatures less than pleasant, to say the least.
Yeah, with any saving grace, though, a lot of those days will have dry air, so it's going to heat up pretty fast. But if we can at least get temperatures into the 70s each of those mornings, that's at least gives us a little bit of a break.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, any kind of break we'll certainly take.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick.
All right.
Still ahead, a shortage of airline mechanics nationwide will potentially continue this summer's flight cancellations trend. Tesla strikes a deal with a Japanese battery maker to build batteries for its electric cars. A Japanese news report says the Panasonic Corporation will build a factory in Kansas to make Tesla's car batteries. The plant will cost the company about $4 billion and is expected to employ about 4,000 workers. Kansas officials lured Panasonic there with a $1.2 billion in incentives and tax credits. The exact location in the Sunflower State, somewhere up around the Kansas City area, but no word on when the plant will be completed. Airline summer flight issues could get a new complication keeping planes in the air. Airline executives are making big hiring pushes to find airline mechanics necessary for maintaining flight operations. Mechanic shortages may cause more canceled flights or delayed appointments for repairs. $84 billion will be spent this year on maintenance, repair, or overhauls. In 2021, Boeing forecasted a need of 626,000 maintenance technicians for the next 20 years. The average FAA certified mechanic is 53, 11 years older than the average U.S. worker. Despite America returning to work as the coronavirus pandemic eases, food banks like one in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, are smacked again, this time due to inflation, with food demand not letting up. Fox's Paula Beoso has that story.
The Central Pennsylvania Food Bank says the demand they saw in the first 6 months of 2022 mirrored the demand they saw in the first 6 months of 2021.
We had felt that perhaps by now, as many people were back to work, things are changing a little bit in the economy, that things would start to come down. But shockingly, there's still very, very high levels of food insecurity in central Pennsylvania.
The food bank believes the inflation we're experiencing, especially at the grocery store, is pushing people to the limit.
Something that people don't fully understand is how many of the people we serve are working full time, sometimes a couple jobs even, and it's still not enough to pay all of the bills and have enough left to get to the grocery store.
They say they're doing everything they can to meet the demand, but their costs are going up as well.
In the past, we might have had more truckloads of donated food that we could share. Now we're having to buy it.
The price of fuel is also impacting operations at the food bank.
We have a fleet of 30 tractor trailers that go back and forth every day from our warehouses to get that food out into the community, get it close to where people live. So there's quite a squeeze in just the operational expenses in trying to get the food delivered.
The food bank says the community can help by providing financial support, volunteering, and raising awareness.
Wrap up this half hour of the news at 9. We'll find out more on Bob Dylan's new whiskey release.
A folk music legend is knocking on doors of whiskey sippin' fame.
Hey, the legendary singer-songwriter Bob Dylan has issued a new limited edition release of rye whiskey called Heaven's Door. The name is a partial nod to Dylan's 1973 song classic, Knocking on Heaven's Door. The company says the Tennessee bourbon is non-traditional, with 22% rye and no charcoal mellowing, and aged 10 years. Now, Dylan has been a full partner with the brand since April of 2018, and I like this. The suggested retail price is $99. $99 worth of Bob Dylan whiskey.
Now, I don't think I personally would buy that.
I don't think I would either, but...
I don't think $99 whiskey is in my budget right now as a college student.
Oh, heavens no. No. I mean, shoot, even it's not in my budget right now, so...
Absolutely.
But, oh my gosh, there's a fly in our studio, and I swear he's coming up at the most inopportune times.
He has. He's attacked each one of us individually,
I think he's had some of Bob Dylan's $99 whiskey, and that's what's going on.
Absolutely. All right, don't go anywhere. We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports when the KOAM News at 9 returns.
Right now, as the News at 9 continues, at least 6 people are dead following a multi-vehicle accident in Montana.
Plus, a cause of death for Ivana Trump has been released.
And singer Ricky Martin is being accused of domestic violence by his nephew. The KOAM News at 9 continues right now. Thank you so much for sticking with us tonight. I'm Chris Warner.
And I'm Bella Line. At least 6 people are dead following a multi-vehicle accident in Montana. Amateur video taken at the scene showing its aftermath, 21 vehicles crashing in the accident, which was said to be brought on by a dust storm, burst by wind gusts topping 60 miles per hour. The crash also snarling traffic for miles. The dust storm was said to have begun hours earlier as storms popped up in central southern Montana.
A cause of death for Ivana Trump has been released. The New York City Office of Chief Medical Examiner says Trump died Thursday after a fall that resulted in blunt impact injuries to her torso. The fall was considered to be accidental. Ivana Trump was found unconscious, quote, in close proximity to the bottom of a staircase in her Manhattan apartment. Trump is the wife of former President Donald Trump. The couple divorced in 1992, and the mother of his 3 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump. She was 73 years old.
Singer Ricky Martin is being accused of domestic violence by his nephew. The Livin' La Vida Loca singer was reportedly in a 7-month relationship with his 21-year-old nephew, Dennis Yadiel Sanchez. Sanchez claims 50-year-old Latin pop icon loitered near his home at least 3 times since Sanchez broke off their relationship. Sanchez, who is reportedly the son of Martin's stepsister, was said to have filed a restraining order against Martin under Puerto Rico's law for incest charges. Martin could face up to 50 years in prison if the claims are true. A rep for Martin has fiercely denied the claims, calling them, quote, completely false and fabricated. Martin and his husband, Spanish-born artist Juan Josef, have been married since 2017.
Armed troops make a presence in Sri Lanka as its government prepares to choose another leader. Security forces maintained a tight blockade Saturday around Parliament as Sri Lankan lawmakers meet to begin choosing new leaders. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa resigned and fled the country Wednesday, days after his residence was stormed by protesters angry at the country's economic collapse. The Prime Minister also bolted the country. Sri Lankan leaders say they'll choose a new president and Prime Minister swiftly.
Firefighters across Spain are continuing their battle to control a number of raging forest fires. Footage released by the Military Emergency Unit shows firefighters tackling the so-called Monsagro fire near Moras Verdes on Friday. While they worked to keep the fire from spreading, aircraft were seen dropping water to assist their efforts. More than 400 people from 8 villages in the area were evacuated on Friday as the flames approached homes. Right now, firefighters were tackling 17 fires across Spain.
And certainly dry and warm conditions continuing across the 4 states. Meteorologist Nick Kelly joining us.
At the very least, though, Chris and Bell, a lot of cloud cover and even some scattered rain chances today did their best to keep a lot of us at least out of the triple digits for today. But it was still hot nonetheless. 79 this morning at Joplin Regional, for example, and topping out at 99 early in the afternoon before we've had a couple showers work on through, and not to mention quite a bit of cloud cover as well. Northeast Oklahoma, you had heat advisories earlier this evening, but they're going to be reissued for tomorrow, and they will not expire until we hit 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. But the other thing I'm tracking, or have been tracking throughout the day, is not only scattered showers early this morning, make that late this morning, early this afternoon, but additional chances coming our way thanks to our frontal system and a couple of waves upstairs all coming into play. We will see returning cloud cover before sunrise and even some scattered showers and storms at times during the morning, and then we'll bat things down to a few isolated storms tomorrow afternoon, Chris and Bella, but still hot with highs for a lot of us in the mid-90s. And unfortunately, we're going to trend quite a bit hotter for the week ahead. We'll break down the numbers here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. In the wake of the debate over guns in schools, a county in Georgia approves a controversial measure to hire armed security guards at schools.
The Cobb County Board, second largest in the Peach State, voted to allow non-certified district employees to carry guns. Despite heated objections from some parents, Fox News correspondent Charles Watson has more from Atlanta.
The move by the Cobb County Board of Education to place armed staff in school buildings has ruffled a lot of feathers, certainly among parents and anti-gun violence advocates who say they're mad and uneasy about the new policy.
You tell them why their kid was injured. You tell them why their kid was shot in school. That's on this board.
And they voiced their opposition loud and clear at a heated board hearing in Cobb County this week. Many parents and members of anti-gun violence group Moms Demand Action shouting and calling for a delay as board members voted 4-2 in favor of a measure to allow armed staff members to work alongside children in school buildings. The district says it's looking to hire retired military and law enforcement in an effort to step up security. They will not be required to be sworn officers or meet Georgia police officer standards. However, the new policy does require those employees to have special training on weapons, judgment, and use of force.
Quite simply, this policy gives us other opportunities to enhance and increase the number of school resource officers.
Cobb County Board of Education members say this is a necessary step to protect all of the district schools in the wake of mass shootings, particularly the massacre in Uvalde, Texas, that killed 19 students and 2 teachers in May. But some parents say the focus needs to be less on guns and more on secure buildings and effective security alerts.
I would like them to handle the security system first, to know that our schools are secure, or if an armed shooter or an armed gunman comes into our school system, that there's a way to notify law enforcement.
Now, there was some thought that the Cobb County Board of Education would allow teachers to carry guns, but it made an amendment to the new policy so folks whose primary duties are in the classroom with children are not permitted to carry guns. In Atlanta, Charles Watson, Fox News.
After the break, we'll get a closer look at the 2023 Honda HR-V.
Honda is gearing up and upgrading, its smallest SUV. Fox's Gary Gastelou has more from the 2023 Honda HR-V.
Honda's smallest SUV isn't so small anymore. The all-new 2023 Honda HR-V has grown over 9 inches longer than the model it replaces. And even though it still slots beneath the CR-V in Honda's lineup and technically competes in the subcompact utility class, this is actually longer than the CR-V was as recently as 2011. In the clothing industry, they call that vanity sizing. The HR-V is available in LX, Sport, and EXL trims at prices ranging from $25,000 to $31,000. All feature a refined cabin with Honda's latest styling, which includes air vents hidden behind a retro honeycomb grate. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration are standard, with the wireless versions and a wireless charging pad coming on the premium EXL. The HR-V is so roomy that even with the front seat set so I can fit at 6'1", I could fit back here as well without my knees touching the front seat. And that's something you can't say for a lot of mid-size and even full-size utility vehicles. The 24.5 cubic foot cargo area is spacious, but not as big as the old CRVs, thanks in part to the raked hatchback design. All HRVs come with a shiftless, continuously variable automatic transmission and a 158 horsepower four-cylinder engine that's peppy but not overpowering. Gets 28 miles per gallon combined, which is a little low for this segment, and all-wheel drive is a $1,500 option that drops that to $27,000. This also has that great handling and road feel that Hondas are known for. It's based on the same platform as the Civic, and its ride is so buttery smooth, it would be impressive even in the near luxury segment, let alone with the little mainstream SUVs, which I guess this really isn't anymore. The Honda Sensing suite of electronic driver aids, including adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist, is standard across the board, with parking sensors and a blind spot warning system added on the top two trims. The one thing I don't really love about this are these leather seats in the top of the line EXL, which are intentionally supportive, but maybe a little too firm where it counts the most, and not the best for the long haul. Which is unfortunate because the HRV is the kind of vehicle you like to take on a long drive. In the 2023 Honda HRV, Gary Gastelou, Fox News.
Nick Kelly is up next with another look at the forecast.
While we kept hot once again, at least a lot of us kept away from reaching the triple digits once again. A couple of good reasons for that. One, the first and obvious thing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker is all the cloud cover that we had throughout the course of the day. And the second reason, at times, we actually had some scattered showers out there, not just late this morning, early this afternoon, but additional batches of scattered showers. And some of them have been really deserved because it's been dry for I don't know how long now. But even though the rain so far today has not resulted in widespread soaking rain, at least the spots that did see rain picked up anywhere from 1/10 to almost half an inch, which again, given that we are quite dry, we will take any rain that can come our way. But with the heat and humidity sticking around for tomorrow, not only will that keep rain chances in the forecast, but it's going to launch another slew of heat advisories. This go around for northeast Oklahoma tomorrow afternoon and up until about 8 o'clock as we get into your Sunday evening. At least temperatures were slightly better compared to where we were the other day. 100 degrees at 5 o'clock with Joplin Regional officially topping out at 101 the other day. Near 80 this morning, and then 99 at 1 o'clock. And then we just bounced back and forth between the lower and mid 90s overall. At least from 7th and Range Line, we were keeping an eye on additional clouds coming in, but from that vantage point, from that point in time this evening, we looked pretty dry, pretty calm from that side of Joplin. But let's expand the view out in the Skywatch Storm Tracker, because even though we do have some severe storms coming out of southern Nebraska, I don't think those will bother us. We're going to focus on additional rain and storms coming our way by tomorrow morning because of this front at the surface still parked near the region and additional waves still riding around the ridge. That's going to bring quite a bit of summer heat as we go into next week. The forecast, though, for tonight continues with cloud cover, additionally more of it returning from the northwest. Then, once we get past 2 a.m., we'll see some more scattered showers, and hopefully we can get in on some heavier downpours and even a couple of storms. They're not going to be severe, but hopefully we can get a couple thunderstorms because that's a better shot to bring some localized heavier downpours, which I'm hoping becomes a little more widespread as we go throughout the morning. Then once we go into the afternoon, we'll go from mostly cloudy skies to partly sunny skies, and we'll still want to hold on to a slight chance for a few isolated storms as they sink to the south and east. But 79 in the morning, 89 by noon. Let's go highs near 96. Let me just go ahead right to the heat indices because that's going to be the other thing we'll watch as we go into tomorrow. More heat indices between 105 and 108 for northeast Oklahoma, but it's going to be hot and a bit humid again, with most of us trying to push close to 100 in terms of the effect against your skin. Monday, we're dry, we're back in the mid 90s, but look at this upper ridge really expand and just not budge at all as we go throughout much of next week. So how hot can the temperatures get? Well, after 96 tomorrow, 95 Monday, I want to push at least 105. Can't say for sure whether or not we have heat advisories or heat warnings that will go into effect on that day, but I'm making that an alert day regardless. And 101 to 103 Wednesday through Saturday. Bella, Chris, those are numbers that I haven't forecasted, at least in that succession, since the summer of 2012.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Yeah, like the saving grace for a couple of those nights, though, if we can get dry enough at the night and drop back at least into the lower to middle 70s, at least give us a little solace before we go right back into the fryer, for unfortunately lack of a better statement or better expression.
Absolutely not. The fryer is a perfect way to put it, honestly.
Yeah, so everyone just needs to have some bona fide ways to keep cool as that heat builds in next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick.
Well, coming up in sports, the Outlaws host the Bombers in a South Division battle.
Plus, the Mocan Dragway celebrates a big milestone. Danny Terzer has that and more next.
The Mega Millions jackpot keeps growing.
There was no winner in Friday night's Mega Millions drawing worth $480 million. That's according to a news release from the lottery. The next drawing is set for Tuesday and is expected to be worth about $530 million. That places it 8th in the top Mega Million jackpots. The biggest winning was in October of 2018 when one ticket sold in South Carolina won over $1.5 billion.
That is way too much money for one person, but I mean, at the same time, there's plenty of very rich people out there, but man, $1.5 billion, what do you do with it?
I don't know. But I got to point out, I do like how Bella put that Dr. Evil little twist with the billion dollars.
Just had to emphasize it a little bit more because billion, that's crazy. Million, okay.
Yeah, because like, you can win that in like the Missouri Lotto game any day, pretty much.
Yeah, but $1 billion, that's a lot. And $1 billion is about what it's going to feel like outside with these temperatures next
At least
week.
it better not go up in that direction or else I'm just going to quit the business in general. Let's go 96 for tomorrow, though. We'll watch for additional scattered, thankfully, showers and a couple of storms throughout the day tomorrow. 95 drying out again Monday, but 105 for Tuesday. And with the upper level setting up, it is going to stay hot with lower triple digits Wednesday through Saturday of next week.
That's our time for now. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.
And thank you so much for making us part of your night.